When Nupur was getting married 6 years ago, she decided to make her special outfit out of something old.
So this is my mother's sari, which has been upcycled into making this lehenga.
That decision to reuse her mother's sari was just one strategy she used that eventually cut the cost of the wedding by half.
And if you see over here, especially we got this embroidered, which says beat plastic pollution, save the planet.
Saving the planet was the start of Nupur and her husband Ashwin's love story. They met during a beach cleanup. But when they decided to get married, they couldn't find anyone to plan a sustainable wedding.
Typical Indian wedding has about 500 plus guests. It generates typically about 3,000 to 4,000 kilos of waste, and it has a carbon footprint of about 150 to 200 tons.
First, Nupur and her husband-to-be crafted a wedding guest list to match their sustainable needs.
More guests means more expenditure means more waste, and I think it's a vicious circle.
I sat down with my parents and I said that we have to get our guest count to 100. There was support as well as rebellion. That it was a lot of negotiation, a lot of mature conversation.
They decided, Nupur and I, that we should do our wedding at a neutral city, from a city where both of us don't belong to. And we chose Pune. Pune is a small satellite town or city about 2 hours away from Mumbai. And we chose it primarily for two reasons. One is it is budget friendly, and second, it has an excellent recycling and waste management system in place.
Nupur had already decided to upcycle her mother's wedding attire. A basic bridal dress in India starts at around $460. Fancier versions can cost many times as much.
Yes, I saved a lot of money because I used my mother's piece, but at the same time, the emotion that this special piece holds for me.
Nupur also wore an old sari of her mother's during the haldi ceremony. That's when turmeric paste is applied on the bride and groom.
There is this concept of thrifting, there is this concept of reusing. That really helps save environment and cost for your wedding.
Weddings are about celebration, and a big part of this is a lavish amount of food. Ashwin and Nupur made sure the food did not go to waste.
We was very strict on RSVPs. Most wedding caterers budget more than 15 to 20% over and above the guest list. When you have strict RSVPs, control the quantity of food that is generated, then the per plate cost of the catering comes down.
Nupur and Ashwin decided to distribute the leftover food from the wedding, and there was zero food wastage after the wedding. Even their wedding invites were zero waste. Their digital invite costs them 1/5 of the cost it would take to print cards. Guests also found themselves chipping in to make the wedding sustainable. Everyone carefully separated their rubbish into recyclable material and glass. A big celebration can generate up to 3,000 kilograms of waste.
If your waste is segregated source, it can also generate revenue out of it. So that's when you call waste to wealth. So when you give good quality waste back to a recycler, instead of you paying him for the services, you will get something back in return.
This focus on sustainability paid off for Nupur and Ashwin. Their green wedding was also kind on the wallet.
For a 3-day function, we spent about 25-30 lakh Indian rupees. If we had done it the conventional way, it would probably be twice or 3x the cost.
And now they're showing other Indian couples how they too can save money and the planet at the same time. In 2020, they set up a sustainable event management business. Initially a passion project, they now have 10 full-time employees and have helped other Indian couples plan lean, green weddings.
They have realized that there's so much talk happening about issues like climate change, about environment, but nothing been done about it. And that's where I think we have realized that when couples come to us, they say, no, we want to make a statement out there. We want to walk the talk.
Hello.
Hi, Sandhya.
Good, good. These are the bridal lehengas. So
Okay.
you're looking for the bright colors or
Yes.
like a pastel colors. So all
Yes.
these range are here.
For her clients, Nupur is exploring the new trend of renting wedding outfits.
I just want to understand, how does this work? Because if I see this lehenga, if I go to buy or even get it stitched, it would cross a lakh to,
Yeah. So actually the rental price of this lehenga is 25,000.
okay?
And
Which
like
is
a duration.
1/4 of what your
Yeah.
cost.
To go with the rented dress, you can also rent bridal jewelry. At this shop, renting costs about $58, a big saving on the cost of buying jewelry. And beyond cost savings, Nupur and Ashwin also want to leave a longer lasting legacy.
We planted 250 saplings
Yeah.
for the guests that were going to be attending the wedding. We did that 6 months in advance. So by the time it's time for a wedding, we have in some way kind of offsetted the carbon footprint that we generated by the guests traveling to the venues.
Since then, it's become a popular trend with their clients as well.
It was almost symbolic and analogical of our wedding or any wedding per se, you know, because it's how, you know, you invest in a wedding in the initial years, right? It's almost taking care of the sapling in the initial years, and how your wedding grows, your marriage grows, the forest grows along with it.
All the saplings here have been actually pledged for weddings that we've done in the past. So you can imagine, you know, what a single sapling, how it grows into a tree. This is a green legacy that we really want to, you know, cherish.